Good, beautiful morning today. It is stunning. I was told I got to turn slower. Look at that sun coming up. Honestly, it's the greatest part of the day, I think. It's amazing. It's not that cold out today. I put a toque on anyway, though, just in case. I picked up my cylinder for the tractor. So if you remember in past videos, I took the cylinder off because it was bent, and you can see that one's bent a little bit too. Not nearly as bad. The one that I replaced was bent really bad, and it was leaking oil out of here like crazy. So the way that works, looks like I'm zoomed in. I am. The way that works is oil comes in the top here, and there's a plunger inside that'll shove down. That then forces the cylinder out, and this one forces the cylinder back, and that's how it opens or moves up and down. So that controls the curl of the bucket or the fork. And this one was bent really bad. It had basically gone out too far where the cylinder was hitting against here, and that's what ended up bending it. So we're hoping to prevent that. The machine shop I took it to says he can build a piece to go inside of here that then allows the cylinder not to come out as far, and then this wouldn't happen again. So that's something that's very interesting and appealing to me, because just fixing this one cylinder cost me $678. That's repairing it. Rebuilding this piece, which threads in here, and bending this straight. I know, crazy. I couldn't believe how much that cost. I actually priced out a used one. I thought maybe I could find a used cylinder. Look how dirty I am. I could find a used cylinder. That ended up, they didn't have one, but if they would have, this tractor wrecker yard, they would have been $600 too. So no different, I guess. So we got her fixed. I'm going to put it on. First thing I want to do, though, is take this one off and see how badly bent it is. He told me to check it. It should be able to slide in and out of the housing. I think they call that the piston. I don't know, whatever. It should be able to slide in and out freely and not be binding. And that's why the other one took so much repair work, because it was binding and it ended up cracking that piece. This one right here, that goes in. So he had to, this piece, it ended up breaking it. It had a crack inside. Not this guy, but the one inside of it. I don't know if you can make that out. This end piece actually turns into here. So he rebuilt that in his machine shop, and that's why it was so pricey. So hopefully this one slides freely. Then I can leave it for now. I need the tractor. Need to do some feeding for other guys, as well as do some stuff here. And then maybe next week I could take it off and send this one in to get straightened. But if it is bent real bad right now, I'm just going to have to send it in right away so we don't break something further. So that's the plan with that right now. I'm here by myself, so I will not film it, I guess. I'll show you the new cylinder and little snippets of fixing it. I decided after standing out here for a while, it is actually colder than it looks. It's nice and sunny, but it's still cool out. So I don't know if this could be any worse. It looks like, I mean, I got the hoses off now, so she should flow freely. I should be able to pull that right out of there. I took it off the bracket down here, so it's just loose, and I cannot get that out of that cylinder, which is the worst case scenario, because it means it's jammed in there. It must be just as bent as the other one was, and yeah, it's probably going to cost me another 600 and some odd bucks. So that's not good, because I can't afford that right now. I'm going to try to pull this apart. I'll take the cylinder out off of there too, and we'll see if we can stretch it out somehow. And then hopefully I'll be able to take this apart myself here. You can make that out. If I can take that part off myself, it might save a few bucks, and then he just has to straighten it. With any luck, this piece inside here is not broken, at least. Because if it's broke again, then yeah, that's where the big money is in machining. Anyway, the joys of farming. It doesn't always, it's not always sunshine, although it is right now. It's beautiful. But you get rainy days. You get days where stuff breaks and it costs a lot of money. You're waiting on payment from few people, and things get tight, and then you have bills at the same time. And anyway, it's how life goes sometimes. Bit of an untidy, environmentally unfriendly mess. We'll try to clean that up. So I got the cylinder out by mix of standing on it and banging on this part with a sledgehammer. So I should be able to show you now. This is how easy it should travel. I don't know if you can tell, it's sliding in, but then it binds. Okay, so hope you can make that out. It should be able to slide that freely. There's a little focus. There's a seal there that keeps the oil on the inside. Now what we're gonna do is try to pull that piece off and then see how bad it is. If I do most of this work myself, hopefully it'll save me a few bucks. And then we'll get him to straighten this cylinder. Plus make some adapters so it can't come out as far next time. Okay, it actually came out really nice. So you can see that threaded piece. If you remember, this was all that was sticking out before. And the rest of this is all in, so that's the thread. So he rebuilt this piece for me for the other cylinder. I can't see at this point any cracks in it. Or at least I haven't seen any yet. I'm going to wipe it all off with all the oil. Then the end here, this is a bunch of seals and stuff packed in. And then the nut. So you can pull the nut off, take the seals off, and this guy can slide off as well. So that's what holds the oil pressure in. For the rest, it just sits inside this can. Which of course is all gross. I guess you can't see in there, but anyway, it goes inside of there. And that's basically the long and short of it, other than a mess. So we're going to clean this all up with a rag. I'm going to have a look if there's no cracks and stuff. I'm going to try bringing it to Buddy. I can show you how curved this is. It's actually a lot worse than I thought it was. You can see there's quite a curve to that cylinder. That should be perfectly straight. I'm hoping he's going to be able to straighten that no problem on his press, and hopefully not take too long. So I'm going to get on the horn, call him, and we're going to clean this all up with a rag, and then hopefully, like I said, he can get it fixed and we can get it all put back together today, because we definitely need this tractor.
They don't need glasses, they don't need to see anything.
No, they're never curious either. There you can see the curve in it. He's got an instrument underneath to tell when it's how much pressure he's putting on, and that's the press. So he'll shove that down until it's straight. And hope it doesn't break in the process. This is that other piece that was busted. You can see the crack running through it. The O-ring sits in here. That's the same as this piece here. So that's what it's supposed to look like. And you can see the O-ring sitting in there. That's why it would have leaked as well. And then this part broke off when he was taking it apart. So he had to remachine a new one. So the other cylinder has a brand new one that he's built. Right here in the shop. Lots of cool stuff. This is where he built the new one. It's a big old metal lathe. Like huge. 3 ton, I think he said it weighed. Trying to find the exact spot where the top would be. That's what the device does. Shows them how where exactly the top center would be. Bend it in the wrong spot, you'll end up with a speed wobble in there. So put some material in there so it doesn't scratch the cylinder. And this is the part where we hope it doesn't break. pretty close here now. Looks like it's fairly straight. I just shut the camera off. It's a lot of up and downs, moving back and forth with precision equipment, trying to get it in the exact right place. Pretty neat. I don't know how many ton that press is, but it's pretty big. Okay, we're back on the road again. We got a whole bunch of stuff in here, but I got my cylinder parts there. He fixed them all up. It was only 40 bucks this time, so that was a lot less money than the other one. The other one was brutal. A lot less work this time, I guess, but still quite interesting. A lot of times you send something out to get fixed, and you don't really realize how much time it takes. You just get a bill, right? And then you're like, what? But now actually standing there watching him trying to get this cylinder straight, it's just a lot involved in there, right? Making sure it's perfect. So happy with that. We're gonna stick it in when we get home. I have an awful hunger on. I imagine Wes does too. Are you getting hungry yet, buddy? Yep. Wes wanted to come along. He's always interested in anything machining, so going to a machine shop is kind of a little treat for today, I guess. So we looked around there, lots of cool tools, expensive stuff, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm itching to get home here and have some breakfast. I'm hungry. And then we're gonna put the tractor back together, and we gotta cut wood today. We gotta feed corn silage today. What else we gotta do today? Anyway, a bunch of stuff I gotta do with the tractor, so it'd be nice to get it together. Oh boy, I'm sorry, I forgot about you guys again. Hey, I put it all back together. It's been a busy day. I've been on just phoning and texting, and got a lot going on right now, and then I forgot to take the camera out. So I got both cylinders hooked back up, put the hydraulic lines back on again. Working on the back of the tractor right now. I got some drips that I'm sorting out. This side's back on. This is the one I had all the way out that I pulled apart this morning. So everything's hooked back up. I'm going to grease these nipples. The reason it happens, I guess I could show you better when it's running, but this guy is allowed to go around too far, and then this hits there and bends. And so we can prevent that by putting a stop in here, so that when it spins around, spin around that stop. Oh, there we go. This will spin around, that stop will hit here before these cylinders touch this. Oh, before these cylinders touch this and get bent. And the old unit, see, we replaced it. We built this one last year. It replaced an old plate that didn't work with my buckets. And it had a stop in there. When we did this one, we never built a stop. It was something we were planning on doing, should have done, because the stop is like, I don't know, $30 worth of metal and, you know, maybe half an hour of welding. And fixing this cylinder here cost me almost 700 bucks, and this one about 40 bucks. So between the two of them, about $700 to fix. So kind of frustrating. One of those things you should have done and didn't do. On the back of the tractor, I put this together many years ago. This tractor only has what's called 2 remotes on it. So these two belong together, these two belong together, or the other way around, I forget now. It's only 2 options. Where I'm using that for my loader, then I have no way of running my baler. And so I built this guy, and it just allows me to switch from one side to the other. So I feed the hydraulics from the tractor into here in the middle, and then I can split it. So right now this is for my loader, and then if I'm baling or running something else, then I can switch the handle over. I won't be able to use my loader then. It'll just hang up in the air. I lift it up, switch the valve over, and run the other side. So we just found that worked really well. I put that together, I don't know, probably 5 years ago, and it's been working slick ever since. But there are pieces in here that leak and drip. So you got O-rings inside of here. This is the other end that goes in, and that sits up against those O-rings, keeps it from leaking. And I've got a few drips going on. Actually, the drips are mainly from this side that's not even in use. So something inside, there's a steel ball in there, and when you plug these in, there's also a steel ball. When you plug them in, both balls then have to move, which allows oil to flow through. For some reason, this guy is allowing a little bit of oil to come through anyway. And you can see the drippy mess here on the back of the tractor. So I don't have time to look into that today more. I'm just cleaning everything up here, cleaning these hoses and stuff up, seeing. I don't think these guys are leaking, but now that they're clean, I'm going to keep an eye on it. If they're leaking, it's most likely just this O-ring, and that's an easy fix. And same as these guys, but they look dry. They don't even look like they were dirty, so I don't think they're leaking. Same as these guys, they look fine. This is wet, and you can see the puddle is here and then there on the tractor. So it has been dripping. But as long as my handle's over to this side, which it will be now for loader work, it shouldn't drip anymore, and then I'll take a look at that another day. So I think that kind of concludes that. Concludes that fix job for today. I got to cut some firewood yet. The day's wearing on. It's about mid-afternoon now. We're going to cut some firewood, and then I got to go feed some cattle yet for the neighbor, and probably a little bit for ourselves here yet as well. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. It's always something different every day on the farm here. It's either we're fixing something, or building something, or destroying something, or feeding something. Just a lot of something's going on. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.